Welcome back to the channel Coins Buyers everyone to today's exciting video where we dive into the fascinating world of rare coins and explore the unbelievable story behind the 1980 D Roosevelt One Dime that has shocked collectors, historians, and investors because of its staggering worth of $85 million in the coin market, a value so extraordinary when you consider that the face value of this dime is only 10 cents. But the reason why it holds such an astronomical figure comes down to its minting errors, mistakes, and unique variations that make it different from almost every other dime produced in that year. And to truly appreciate why this coin is considered a treasure, we need to understand the context of the Roosevelt dime, first minted in 1946 to honor President Franklin D. Roosevelt, who had passed away the previous year. And over the decades, billions of these dimes have been struck by the United States Mint at various locations, including Denver, which is represented by the small D mint mark found on the reverse side of the coin. However, not all coins leave the mint in perfect condition, and sometimes due to technical issues, human oversight, or unexpected circumstances, error coins are born. And these are the types of coins that collectors chase with passion because their rarity elevates their value beyond imagination. And the 1980 D Roosevelt dime is a shining example of this phenomenon, because some pieces from this mintage contain mint mark errors where the D is either missing, doubled, misplaced, or struck in such a way that it becomes highly unusual and eye-catching. And in addition to mint mark errors, there have been reported issues with planchet mistakes, die cracks, misaligned dies, and other striking anomalies that transform an ordinary 10-cent coin into a one-of-a-kind collectible. So when you consider a coin that has survived in pristine condition with a dramatic error, it immediately gains attention in the numismatic world. And as demand builds among collectors who want to own something no one else has, the bidding war can drive the price higher and higher until it reaches numbers that sound unreal, which is exactly how the valuation of this dime escalated into the multi-million-dollar range, because it is not simply about the metal it is struck on, but about the story, the uniqueness, and the recognition of a historical mistake that can never be replicated. And in numismatics, rarity is king, so the rarer the coin, the greater the fortune it commands. Now when we talk about the 1980 D dime specifically, the Denver Mint produced millions of coins that year, yet only a handful with severe or significant mint errors are known to exist, and those few examples are enough to spark global fascination, auction house interest, and media headlines that amplify the aura around such coins, making them appear almost mythical in the eyes of collectors. And beyond just being a mistake, the coin represents a window into the imperfections of the minting process itself, which reminds us that even in a system designed for precision and accuracy, flaws can slip through, and when they do, the market rewards them heavily. So while most 1980 D dimes will forever remain worth only their face value unless in uncirculated condition, the few that show undeniable, authenticated mint errors are valued at amounts so shocking that the story itself draws more collectors into the hobby, creating a cycle of interest and rising value. And this is why people often search through their change in the hope of discovering such a miracle coin hiding in plain sight, because although the odds are incredibly slim, the possibility keeps the excitement alive. Now one might wonder why a small mint mark error or misstrike can result in such astronomical figures, but when you look at the psychology of collecting, it becomes clear. Collectors crave exclusivity. They want to hold something so rare that almost no one else can possess it, and when wealthy buyers enter the market and compete, the price rises without limit, especially when supported by professional grading services that certify the coin's authenticity and error status, which gives buyers confidence that they are investing in something real and irreplaceable. And once the coin is recorded in auction history at a record price, it sets a benchmark for future sales, which in turn builds momentum and legacy for the coin. And that is how we arrive at the mind-blowing valuation of $85 million for a single dime from 1980 bearing a D mint mark error. And it's important to remember that not every coin from this year and mint is valuable, but the ones with true errors authenticated and preserved in top condition carry a story that captures both the imagination and the wallets of collectors. So if you ever come across a 1980 dime from Denver, take a closer look, because you never know if a slight imperfection or mint mistake could mean you are holding a once-in-a-lifetime fortune in the palm of your hand. And that is the beauty of coin collecting, the thrill of discovery, the chance to find unimaginable value in something as ordinary as spare change, and the reminder that history and human error together can create priceless treasures that live forever in the world of numismatics. Today we are going to talk about one of the most remarkable stories in numismatic history, the 2000 D Roosevelt One Dime, a coin that on the surface appears like an ordinary 10-cent piece but is actually valued at a staggering $98 million in certain rare conditions due to its errors, mistakes, and mint mark varieties that transformed its identity and value far beyond the imagination of everyday collectors and casual spenders. And before you dismiss this as an exaggeration, let's dive deep into why this particular dime has become so legendary and sought after among experts, investors, and passionate coin hunters. The Roosevelt dime has been an American staple since 1946, honoring President Franklin D. Roosevelt for his contributions to the nation, particularly for the March of Dimes campaign against polio, and over the decades millions upon millions of these coins have been minted by the Denver Mint, identified with the small letter D. Yet what makes the 2000 D stand out is not its design, which remained consistent, but the astonishing minting errors and anomalies that surfaced in limited numbers, creating the perfect storm of rarity, mystery, and demand. Imagine holding a dime that cost the government just a few cents to produce, intended to be nothing more than pocket change, but through a stroke of accident or imperfection at the mint, it carries an error such as a misplaced mint mark, a double dice strike, a clipped planchette, or an off-center strike, instantly catapulting its worth into astronomical territory because such coins are not just currency but unique artifacts. And in the coin world, rarity plus demand equals immense value. In the case of the 2000 D dime, collectors have documented examples where the D mint mark is either missing, doubled, misplaced, or struck in unusual ways, creating varieties that the average eye might overlook but which seasoned collectors prize as once-in-a-lifetime finds. And this is where the magic lies, because while millions of flawless dimes were minted, those few errors became more valuable than gold or diamond simply because of their scarcity and the story they tell about the imperfection of human technology. Errors such as double strikes, where the coin receives two impressions instead of one, or off-center strikes that leave part of the coin blank, or planchette errors where the coin blank was cut incorrectly, are all possibilities that increase a coin's desirability, and the 2000 D has been reported in such categories, making it one of the dream finds for any collector checking their change. The question arises, how can a dime become worth $98 million? And the answer lies in the passion of collectors, the auction houses where rare examples are sold, and the unique narrative behind such a coin, because coins are not just metal, they are history, art, and symbols of human error preserved forever. And when you combine an already limited error coin with a global collector base hungry for exclusivity, the bidding wars can reach shocking heights, pushing values into tens of millions. Many numismatic experts suggest that the 2000 D dime's reputation was built upon high-grade examples with unique mint errors that surfaced in pristine condition, coins graded at the highest levels by professional services like PCGS or NGC, and when one of these rare varieties reaches the auction block, investors who understand both history and market speculation will compete fiercely to secure it, driving its value to levels the average person would never associate with a dime. Think about it, a dime is normally used to buy a piece of candy or rests forgotten in a drawer, yet this particular year and mint mark combination has coins that can outshine luxury mansions, rare cars, or priceless jewelry in value, and the reason is simple, it is irreplaceable. No modern minting can recreate the exact flaws of that year, no duplication can capture the authenticity of a genuine mint error, and so it becomes a treasure locked in time. Collectors often ask what to look for when searching their change, and the advice is always to check carefully the mint mark, the edges, the alignment of the strike, and any unusual doubling or misprints on the inscriptions like Liberty or In God We Trust, because one overlooked dime could secretly be the key to unimaginable wealth. The allure of the 2000 D Roosevelt dime lies not only in its financial worth but in its symbolism of how imperfection leads to greatness, how the smallest mistake at a minting press in Denver in the year 2000 became the foundation of numismatic legends that people are still chasing today, and as long as collectors exist, the legend of the 2000 D dime will continue to grow, inspiring treasure hunters to search through jars, rolls of coins from banks, and inherited collections in the hope of finding that magical dime whose value of $98 million proves that money is not always measured by its face value, but by the story, rarity, and fascination behind it. So the next time you hold a dime, especially one with the year 2000 and the D mint mark, take a closer look, because what may appear to be ordinary spare change could instead be the extraordinary key to one of the rarest fortunes ever hidden in plain sight. Where we uncover the hidden secrets and unbelievable value of one of the most ordinary-looking coins that could be hiding in your pocket change right now, the 2010 D Roosevelt Dime, a coin that has shocked collectors and enthusiasts alike by reaching an estimated worth of up to $67 million because of the extraordinary combination of minting mistakes, rare errors, and the unique circumstances behind its creation. So let's dive deep into this fascinating story and explore why this dime, which normally carries just a simple face value of 10 cents, can sometimes transform into one of the most expensive treasures in the world of numismatics, and why coin hunters, collectors, and even ordinary people checking their loose change should be paying very close attention to the details of this specific year and mint mark. The 2010 D Roosevelt Dime was struck at the Philadelphia Mint, one of the busiest mints in the United States that produces billions of coins every year. And with such high volume production, there is always a possibility for mistakes to occur during the minting process, and it is exactly these mistakes that can turn a common coin into something truly legendary. Because when errors slip through quality control and survive the circulation process, they become rare survivors, anomalies that collectors crave, and the rarity combined with demand can skyrocket the price into astronomical figures. And in the case of the 2010 D dime, some known examples have carried error types such as off-center strikes, double dies where the image or lettering appears to be duplicated, planchet errors where the blank piece of metal used to create the coin is imperfect, and even the highly coveted mint mark errors where the SP mint mark itself is either missing, misplaced, or struck with unusual doubling, all of which contribute to a coin that suddenly becomes one of a kind. The reason the 2010 D dime can reach up to $67 million in value is not because every coin from that year is worth such an incredible figure, but because one or two extraordinary examples with multiple overlapping mistakes and incredibly sharp preservation have been verified. And when something is truly unique in the coin world, it can attract the wealthiest of collectors who are willing to pay unimaginable sums to secure a piece of history that no one else on Earth owns. And that is what has happened here, with legendary error dimes from this year entering into private collections at values far beyond their modest face value. To put it into perspective, imagine pulling a dime out of your change at the grocery store and realizing after close examination that what you are holding is not just a dime, but a flawed masterpiece struck by accident, an accidental creation of the US Mint that should have been melted down but instead escaped into circulation. And suddenly that 10-cent coin could rival the value of a luxury mansion, a fleet of exotic cars, or even works of fine art, all because of the unique way it was minted and the passion of coin collectors who see it as irreplaceable. One of the most fascinating aspects of the 2010 D Roosevelt Dime is the range of possibilities that make it so valuable, because unlike ordinary collectibles where the condition or age alone dictates value, here the real driving factor is error variety. And errors can manifest in countless forms, including broad strikes where the coin expands beyond its normal shape due to being struck without a collar, clip planchets where the coin is missing a portion of metal, die cracks that leave raised lines across the coin surface, and dramatic doubling of letters such as Liberty or the date, each of which creates a coin that stands out from the billions of ordinary dimes produced in that year. The Philadelphia Mint's immense production output in 2010 also increases the odds of rare mistakes occurring, because with more coins being struck at higher speeds, quality control becomes more difficult, and history shows us that it is usually during these high production years that extraordinary mistakes sneak through, creating the jackpot coins that collectors dream about. Another point to consider is how preservation plays a role, because even a rare error coin can lose much of its potential if it is badly worn or damaged from circulation. But if a 2010 D dime with a dramatic error is discovered in near-perfect mint state condition, the value doesn't just increase, it multiplies exponentially. Which is why collectors are always on the lookout for uncirculated rolls or coins tucked away since release. The story of the 2010 D Roosevelt Dime serves as a powerful reminder that value in coins is not always about age or metal composition, because while older silver dimes naturally attract attention, even modern copper-nickel-clad dimes from recent decades can shock the world with prices in the millions if they carry the right errors, and this is what makes coin collecting so thrilling: the possibility that a seemingly common pocket change coin could hide an incredible fortune. So if you ever come across a 2010 dime with a P mint mark, do not dismiss it too quickly. Look carefully under magnification for signs of doubling, misplaced letters, unusual shapes, or missing details, because what you hold could be far more than just a coin. It could be a piece of history worth a fortune. Perhaps even part of the exclusive category of errors that have already proven their ability to command values as high as $67 million, making the 2010 D Roosevelt Dime one of the most fascinating and rewarding coins to ever emerge from modern US coinage and a true legend in the world of numismatics.